Hey guys, welcome to Mex Profile, and please subscribe to this channel. On today's episode, we shall be discussing the life of Tupac Shakur, the rap icon, and the major events that highlighted his life. Tupac Shakur was an American rapper and actor who came to embody the 1990s gangster rap aesthetic, and who in death became an icon symbolizing noble struggle. He has sold 75 million albums to date, making him one of the top-selling artists of all time. A sensitive, precociously talented and troubled soul, Tupac was gunned down in Las Vegas on September 7, 1996 and died 6 days later. His murder has never been solved. Tupac began his music career as a rebel with a cause to articulate the travails and injustices endured by many African Americans. His skill in doing so made him a spokesperson not just for his own generation but for subsequent ones who continue to face the same struggle for equality. In life, his biggest battle was sometimes with himself, as fate drove him towards the nihilism of gangster rap, and into the arms of the controversial Death Row Records impresario Suge Knight. The boundaries between Shakur's art and his life became increasingly blurred, with tragic consequences. Early life. Tupac was born on June 16, 1971, in Harlem, New York. His mother, Afeni, was raising 2 children on her own and struggled for money. The family moved homes often, sometimes staying in shelters. They moved to Baltimore, where Tupac enrolled at the prestigious Baltimore School for the Arts, at which he felt the freest I ever felt. Tupac was named Layson Parish Crooks at birth. After joining the Black Panther Party, his mother changed his first name to Tupac Amaru, a Peruvian revolutionary who was killed by the Spanish. Tupac later took his surname from his sister Sekia's father, another Panther called Mutulu Shakur. Tupac's mother, Alice Faye Williams, was the daughter of a North Carolina maid and a high school dropout. She became pregnant with Tupac in 1970 while on bail after being charged with conspiring to set off a race war. Afeni was acquitted the following year after successfully defending herself in court, displaying a gift for oration that her son would inherit. She changed her name to Afeni Shakur after becoming actively involved with the Black Panther Party. Afeni died in May 2016 at the age of 69. Tupac's father, Billy Garland, was also a Panther but lost contact with Afeni when Tupac was 5 years old. The rapper would not see his father again until he was 23. "I thought my father was dead all my life," he told the writer Kevin Powell during an interview with Vibe magazine in 1996. "I felt I needed a daddy to show me the ropes and I didn't have one." Afeni gave birth to a daughter, Sekia, 2 years after Tupac. However, Sekia's father, Mutulu Shakur, did not stick around, either. Jada Pinkett Smith and Tupac's friendship. Pinkett Smith was featured in the 2017 movie on Tupac All Eye on Me. She later told reporters that she was a drug dealer when she met Tupac and that she found the reimagining of their relationship in the film very hurtful. It wasn't just about, "Oh, you have this cute girl, and this cool guy, they must have been in this." Nah, it wasn't that at all. It was about survival, and it had always been about survival between us, she said. Moved to California and rise to fame. Tupac's Baltimore neighborhood was riven by crime, so the family moved to Marin City, California. It turned out to be a mean little ghetto, according to Robert Sam Anison's comprehensive posthumous feature on Tupac for Vanity Fair in 1997. It was in Marin City that Afeni succumbed to crack addiction, a drug her son, Tupac, would sell on the same streets where his mother bought her supply. Tupac's love for hip-hop would scare him away from a life of crime, for a while, at least. At 17, in the spring of 1989, he met an older white woman, Leila Steinberg, in a park. They struck up a conversation about Winnie Mandela. Steinberg would later recall, a young man with fan-like eyelashes, overflowing charisma, and the most infectious laugh. By the time they met, Tupac was obsessively writing poetry and convinced Steinberg, who had no music industry experience, to become his manager. Steinberg was eventually able to get Tupac in front of music manager Atron Gregory, who secured a gig for him in 1990 as a roadie and dancer for the hip-hop group Digital Underground. He soon stepped up to the mic, making his recording debut in 1991 on Sing Song, which soundtracked the Dan Aykroyd comedy Nothing But Trouble. Tupac also appeared on Digital Underground's album Sons of the P in October that year. After the band's manager, Gregory, took over from Steinberg, he landed Tupac a deal with Interscope Records. A month after Sons of the P hit the stores came Tupacalypse Now, Tupac's debut album as a solo artist. Tupac often complained that he was misunderstood. "Everything in life is not all beautiful," he told journalist Chuck Phillips. "There is lots of killing and drugs. To me, a perfect album talks about the hard stuff and the fun and caring stuff. The thing that bothers me is that it seems like a lot of the sensitive stuff I write just goes unnoticed." Legal drama and serving jail time. In August 1992, Tupac was attacked by jealous youths in Marin City. He drew his pistol but dropped it in the melee. Someone picked it up, the gun fired, and a 6-year-old bystander, Khalid Walker Till, fell down dead. While Tupac was not charged for Walker Till's death, he was reportedly inconsolable. In 1995, Walker Till's family brought a civil case against Tupac, but settled out of court after an unnamed record company, thought to have been death row, offered compensation of between $300,000 to $500,000. In October 1993, Tupac shot and wounded two white off-duty cops in Atlanta, one in the abdomen and one in the buttocks, after an altercation. However, the charges were dropped after it emerged in court that the policemen had been drinking, had initiated the incident, and that one of the officers had threatened Tupac with a stolen gun. The case illustrated the misrepresentation of African American males, and the attitude of some police toward them, which Tupac had been talking about in his music. What was portrayed as gun-toting, gangster behavior by a lawless individual turned out to be an act of self-defense by a young man in fear of his life. All the while, Tupac's star continued to rise. Tupac did go to jail for 15 days in 1994 for assaulting the director Allen Hughes, who had fired him from the set of the movie Menace to Society for being disruptive. Songs and albums. Tupac has released a total of 11 platinum albums, 4 during his career, with 7 more released posthumously. To date, Tupac has sold more than 75 million records worldwide. As of September 2017, the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, listed Tupac as the 44th top-selling artist of all time by album sales and streaming figures. Tupacalypse Now. Tupac's first album as a solo artist was Tupacalypse Now. Although it did not yield any hits, it sold a respectable 500,000 copies and established Tupac as an uncompromising social commentator on songs such as Brenda's Got a Baby, which narrates an underage mother's fall into destitution, and Soldier's Story, which controversially spoke of blasting a police officer and dropping the cop. The song was cited as a motivation for a real-life cop killing by a teenage car thief called Ronald Ray Howard and was condemned by the then U.S. Vice President Dan Quayle. "There is absolutely no reason for a record like this to be published," Quayle said. "It has no place in our society." With those words, Tupac's notoriety was guaranteed. Strictly for My Niggas. Tupac's second album, Strictly for My Niggas, dropped in February 1993. It continued in the same socially conscious vein as his debut. On the gold-certified single, Keep Your Head Up, he empathized with "my sisters on the welfare," encouraging them to "please don't cry, dry your eyes, never let up." The album featured contributions from Tupac's stepbrother, Moprim. Moprim became a member of the hip-hop group Thug Life, which Tupac started and which released the album Thug Life, Volume 1 in 1994. Me Against the World. When Tupac's third solo album came out on March 14, 1995, he was in jail. Its title, Me Against the World, could not have been more apt. It reached number 1 in the Billboard 200 chart and is considered by many to be his magnum opus, by and large a work of pain, anger and burning desperation, wrote Chill H. Coker at Rolling Stone. But there was vulnerability, too. Lead single, Yeah Mama, was a tear-jerking tribute to his mother, Afeni, that hit number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 in April 1995. All Eye on Me. Tupac's debut for Death Row, the double-length album All Eye on Me, came out in February 1996. With his new hip-hop group Outlaws debuting on the album, All Eye on Me was an unapologetic celebration of the thug lifestyle, echoing socially conscious lyrics in favor of gangsta funk hedonism and menace. Tupac's wife and girlfriend. Tupac married Keisha Morris in 1995 while he was still in prison. The couple had met several months earlier at a nightclub when Morris was 20 and Tupac was 21. Their marriage was annulled 5 months after Tupac was released from jail. In October 1995, the pair remained friends until his death. Soon after his marriage to Morris ended, Tupac began dating Kidada Jones. They had met at a club when Tupac apologized for insulting her father, Quincy Jones, for only dating white women. Jones was in Las Vegas with Tupac the night he was shot. Death. Tupac died in Las Vegas on September 13, 1996, of gunshot wound inflicted 6 days prior. His murder remains unsolved. On September 7, Tupac was in Las Vegas with Knight to watch a Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand Hotel. There was a scuffle after the bout between a member of the Crips gang and Tupac. Knight, who was involved with the rival Bloods gang, and members of his entourage piled in. Later, as a car that Tupac was sharing with Knight stopped at a red light, a man emerged from another car and fired 13 shots, hitting Tupac in the hand, pelvis and chest. He later died at the hospital. His girlfriend Kidada and his mother Afeni were both with him in his final days. Tupac's body was cremated. Members of his old band, Outlaws, made the controversial claim that they had smoked some of his ashes in honor of him. His mother announced she would scatter her son's ashes in Soweto, South Africa, the birthplace of his ancestors, on the 10th anniversary of his murder. She later changed the date to June 16, 1997, Tupac's 26th birthday as well as the anniversary of the 1976 Soweto uprising. On March 9, 1997, 6 months after Tupac died, Biggie Smalls was killed in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. His murder has never been solved either.